Okay, nerds, we do have a little bit of housekeeping, but we're going to have to make the housekeeping brief because this is 5 pages of notes and things I didn't plan for properly. So yeah, we have so much to talk about. A lot of it is rumor mill, but that's not the entirety of it. There is at least 2 things in every section, and each of those things in each section is probably going to cause a little bit of a ramble. I hope I don't run out of battery, even though I should have plenty for a normal episode, and I'm rambling already, so let's just hit the intro. Okay, so there is, like I said, a little bit of housekeeping. I don't know why I didn't do this last time because I was wearing the shirt for the last episode, but I'm going to move this microphone back real quick. For those of you listening on the audio, imagine me standing up right now, but this is... new swag. Go check out the nerdy stores on the website, generalnerdy.net. Up at the top says General Store. You can click that. There are 3 different stores. One of them I have very little to do with. I did do a minor collaboration with the people who run that store. The Punish shirt. I forget the new name of it, but it is again linked in the store section. The other 2 stores, I designed everything on them. The Redbubble is still kind of finding its way, and the Teespring is the one where you can get this one that I'm wearing today. It is the Do You Even Pop Culture, Bro shirt. I love it. I love it a lot. I think it turned out fantastic, and I hope you love it too, so go buy one. It helps out a surprising amount. So again, go buy some nerdy swag. That is housekeeping. Let's jump into music news. Music. We are first we are talking about some like nerdy on multiple levels kind of stuff. So Dark Knight's death metal, the continuation or the I don't know exactly the story that came from Dark Knight's Metal that we talked about last year, at the beginning of last year, if I remember correctly. More Scott Snyder stuff, more great Batman stuff that kind of spans the entirety of the DC universe. This new story, this new arc is getting its own album, just like the first one did. This one's a little more unique. A little less unique, I guess, is more appropriate, because the first one, the guy that was putting it together, and of course I didn't write his name down because why would I do that? Toby something, who worked with Marilyn Manson, because we're talking about Marilyn Manson right now. He worked with Marilyn Manson on the Pale Emperor record, is the guy that put together both of these soundtracks. The first one was music that he primarily wrote in collaboration with other artists, other well-known artists. Very specifically, Bron Daler comes to mind from Mastodon because he's amazing. So this new record, at least this one track, is going to be off of an existing record. So Worship My Wreck is the name of the song. It's from Marilyn Manson's 2015 album, The Pale Emperor, which again, the producer of this one co-wrote with Manson. I need to write down names, man. But yeah, so the unique thing about this soundtrack is that each video, if you go check the link in the description, each video is going to have its own little animatic music video attached to it. So, or each song, I guess, is going to have an animatic music video attached to it. So you can go check out the animatic for this one. Seems to feature very heavily the Batman Who Laughs, which is kind of the reason why this story even exists, which I can totally get behind. That is that piece, though. Our next and only other piece in music has to do with Thomas Haake. The drummer for Meshuggah is doing a solo project, kind of. And I say kind of because it's with his girlfriend. And that is significant because his girlfriend, many people probably know as the actress. I need to read her name, Jessica Pimentel. She is also, though, the vocalist for a metal band called Alekhine's Guns. Sorry. First day with the eyes, because apparently I can't read today. Alekhine's gun. So the two of them are dating, and she is famous on a different kind of scale than Thomas is, but still freaking huge and awesome. They're going to be releasing their project on Bandcamp. Probably never going to play it live, but I mean, it is the day and age of quarantine, so we might see some quarantine video footage of them doing some sort of performance. That would be freaking awesome, but that's just speculation, and that is all of the music news. Now let's talk TV streaming. TV streaming. First up, we have an interesting tweet from the Stranger Things official Twitter account. There is a picture up there that has a lot of industry buzz going on right now, and I don't understand necessarily why. I mean, so let's not bury the lead. So the image shows 9 scripts, and it says season 4 in its entirety, or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing the tweet, but the image is 9 scripts. If you look, it's kind of hard to see all of them. You kind of have to really pay attention to where the breaks are, and some of them overlap other ones, which makes it a little difficult. But there are, in fact, 9 scripts in this, which means there are going to be 9 episodes. There is going to be 9 episodes for season 4 of Stranger Things. And apparently this is a big deal for reasons. Season 2 was 9 episodes. Granted, there was a bonus episode that probably could have been cut. So that is leading a lot of naysayers. Well, you're not running as tight a ship as you should. Other series run with more than 8 episodes, and they do just fine. Just because one time there was an extra episode that really had nothing to do with anything else doesn't mean they're going to do the same thing twice. It just means we're gonna have to pay a little bit more attention and see that. I mean, even then, it's whatever, man. I'm all down for an extra hour of my Stranger Things for the season, so there you go. That is what we have on that. Our next piece has to do with an announcement for the Cybertron Netflix series. This is the first series in a trilogy of series. We've talked about this on the show before when it was originally announced, so there was no release date, though, when it was originally announced. And now, not only do we have a release date, but we also have a trailer. So the release date is July 30th. Again, it will be on Netflix, and the trailer you can find if you go down to those show notes and click the link. Yeah, looks interesting, artwork great. I'm excited to see what they do with the Transformers, and again, that's all we have, so let's move on to the next piece. Next, we are talking about Cobra Kai. This is a follow-up piece. We talked originally about how Cobra Kai was going to be leaving YouTube Originals or YouTube Red or whatever it's being called these days. YouTube Premiere, I think for a second is what it was called. Now it has found its new resting place. The new home for the series of Cobra Kai is Netflix. So if you have a Netflix account and you have yet to watch the first 2 seasons of Cobra Kai, you are in luck, because sometime between now and the end of the year, they were not more specific than that, the first 2 seasons will be released onto Netflix, and then season 3 will be coming sometime shortly thereafter. Again, very not specific with the details on how this is all going to work. But this is the last hope of YouTube's original programming as far as scripted programming goes. YouTube is no longer in the scripted programming game. And then our final piece of TV streaming news has to do with FX on Hulu. So this is actually quite an interesting little thing that may or may not be the beginning of something even more strange and confusing, actually. So FX on Hulu. So right now, if you have cable, then you probably have the channel FX. If you have a larger package for your cable provider or for your satellite or whatever, then you potentially also have the second FX channel called FXX, which is basically just all of the syndicated stuff that FX, I don't know. So if they play longer versions of what you get on FX, like all of the old episodes of, I can't even think of an FX original right now. But yeah, so that's kind of the situation of the broadcast version. And then now that FX has been on Hulu for some time, and usually Walking Dead. No, that's AMC. Why am I drawing a blank on original FX programming? Whatever, it's irrelevant. So when FX was put onto Hulu as well, FX original shows, then usually it was within a couple of days after the episode aired, you could then watch it on Hulu. So that was the situation of FX on Hulu for a while. Now, it seems they're testing the waters for something. Specifically what, I'm not entirely sure, but we do have an announcement that a couple of stories that we've been talking about on the show, we've been keeping tabs on, are now going to be exclusives for FX on Hulu. Those two shows are Why the Last Man, yes, it is still in production, and American Horror Stories. So the micro anthology series based on the macro anthology series that is on. There you go. There's an original FX program. American Horror Story. All right, so brain unlocked. Okay, so these are the first two shows that are going to be exclusively on FX on Hulu. So if you have a Hulu subscription, presumably this is not going to be an add-on to that Hulu subscription. So if you have your Disney Plus and you get the cheap version of Hulu, then it should also be included. I can't imagine they're going to want to make this into a paid add-on to Hulu, but who freaking knows in this age of streaming? If they see that this becomes popular enough, then maybe they will try and capitalize on that and make it like a $5 additional charge to your Hulu account. I don't know. It could be amazing because we could get some fantastic original series that go to FX on Hulu exclusive. Or it could be total horrible capitalist nonsense. Well, not even capitalist nonsense, but corporatist nonsense that just makes you want to pull your hair out and scream a little bit. So that is everything in TV streaming right now. Now we're moving into movie news. We actually have to start movie news on a couple of down notes. Unfortunately, we've had two pretty big deaths in the last few days, the first of which being Ian Holm. For those that might recognize the name, but you don't necessarily know why, if you watched The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, then you know who Ian Holm is. He is the elder version of Bilbo. Or if you are a Fifth Element fan, then he was the father. Where's the name? I'm going to say it wrong if I don't ring it. Father Victor Cornelius. That was Ian Holm. He was also Sir William Gull. He was Frankenstein's father in the Mary Shelley Frankenstein movie. He was Napoleon in the Time Bandits. He's done so much in the nerd community. He was the Sir William Gull was the From Hell character that he played based on the comic book. Johnny Depp starred in the movie. He was a titan. He was an amazing actor, and honestly apparently loved doing nerdy stuff. He was in the Alien franchise, for crying out loud. The man was a legend and will be sorely missed. He died. He was 80. I'm sorry, I'm missing. There we go. He was 88, and he had been fighting prostate cancer and Parkinson's disease for some time. So that is, in the end, what took his life, unfortunately. So first down note is Ian Holm. Second down note just happened a couple of days ago, 2 days ago to be specific, because that's when I started this specific round of research, and that was Joel Schumacher. As tainted as some of the contributions that he made to the nerd community might be, he just was a kind of a titan as far as movie production goes and direction even. Joel Schumacher was 80. I could not find a cause of death, though I do believe he was in bad health as well. And people have just been showing dedication all of the wonderful things that these two men have contributed to their lives and to their careers all throughout Hollywood. And it's a beautiful thing to see these two men memorialized in such a way. So both of them will be missed. And that down note out of the way. Okay. Let's take a breather for 2 seconds. Glorify the dead, and we're moving on. All right. So our first piece of news, actually, this one was a little bit hard to substantiate, but I did find it. Oh, and apparently I didn't put the link in, whatever. So the Star Wars movie that we knew we were going to be getting in 2022, according to Disney's release schedule, has been removed. So we're going to break this down a little bit because different places are reporting this differently. First, the only thing that is 100% news, that is 100% confirmable, is that the movie that was set to release in 2022 that was an unnamed Star Wars project is no longer on the slate. So that is the actual news piece. Now, there has been a lot of conjecture from the moment this movie was announced until it being removed that this movie was going to be a number of things, that this is going to be the one from D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, and then they left, and then the people are saying, well, this is going to be the Taika Waititi movie. But there was no confirmation for that. Or then people saying this is going to be the Kevin Feige movie, but there was no confirmation for that. So now the presumption, if you are of the mindset that this is the Taika or the Feige movie, then the presumption is this: they have added to their release schedule an unnamed Star Wars project to be released in 2024. So presumably whatever we were going to see in 22 has been just pushed back 2 years on the release schedule. That is a presumption. That is not a confirmation because we have no idea what the content of that movie was. And still other people are saying that this was the D.B. Weiss and David Benioff movie, and they were trying to find someone to still make that story. And now that they can't find anyone that want to touch that baby, effectively, the Weiss-Benioff baby, then they're just completely canceling it. And this 2024 movie is something brand new altogether. So there's a lot of speculation involved here. The only hard facts are there was a movie set in 2022, set to release in 2022. That is no longer there. Now there is a movie set to release in 2024. Are they the same movie? Are they even related at all? Are they something else entirely? That all leads to speculation, which we don't do until we get to the rumors section. And we have so many rumors, we're not going to spend time bothering with speculation. We're moving on. Next, we are talking about Halloween Tree. For those that don't know, this is actually a Ray Bradbury story. I don't believe it was a novel, but it is a Bradbury story that is now being turned into a movie by Will Dunn for Warner Brothers. That is really all I could find on this, but since it's Bradbury connected, it had to go in the news show, man, because who doesn't love Ray Bradbury? Honestly, Martian Chronicles is one of my favorite science fiction books ever, but that's irrelevant, and we're moving on. Next, we're talking about Ava and the Witch. You can see the first Studio Ghibli 3D animated movie. Well, you can see screenshots of it, at least, if you follow either of the links in the show notes. Both of them will take you to different places to see images from this movie. A couple of the images are repeats, but it's still really interesting to see Goro. I'm sorry, I'm going to mispronounce Goro's last name, Miyazaki. This will be his third movie, his father being the one that released all of the other Studio Ghibli movies, but this will be his third movie. I didn't write down the first two, so Ghibli fans, please don't hang me in the comments, but that's pretty freaking awesome. I'm super excited about new Studio Ghibli, especially since they're now related to Disney Plus, and so much going on. All right, next we're talking about Flashpoint, or the Flash movie, whatever you want to call it, the Ezra Miller potentially fronted movie. We'll get into that in rumors, but there is a hardcore piece of news that is then going to lead into other rumors once we get into the rumor section. So that hardcore piece of news is that Michael Keaton is in talks to be a part of the cast. To what end is he going to be part of the cast? That is all speculation, and believe you me, we are going to be talking about that in the rumors section. This is the end of the movie section, though, so yeah, let's just move on. Now we are going over to gaming, and actually, because of this episode, we are now slightly expanding the gaming section to be gaming and tech. So all gaming, computers, videos, all of those kind of games, or tabletop, or any card-based games, all of that is what we're going to be talking about in this section, as well as things to do with computers and just tech in general. So the first two pieces are tech in general. First and foremost is Apple making an official announcement that they are no longer going to be using Intel to make their chip processors. All of the internal hardware that goes into Mac computers is now all going to be made in-house. So the steps towards 100% proprietary nonsense are one step closer to being actualized, and it just makes me happy that I don't use Mac. I have a couple of buddies that swear by it, but I can't get into the proprietary nonsense, man. So that is that. The next piece is actually a little more lighthearted and kind of a strange sign of the times. We're moving into some sort of weird William Gibson future because we have a digital dolphin, robot dolphin, actually, to be a little bit more specific. So we have a special effects company has created a robot dolphin that resembles very, very, very closely an actual dolphin in the wild. It is this. I couldn't find the name of the company that's doing it because I honestly could only find this from one source, but what they've done is they have basically a remote controlled dolphin that looks very close to being real until you get it out of the water, and then you can see just how plasticky the skin looks. But it is going to be in an aquarium. It's just going to be a Chinese aquarium. It's not going to be part of SeaWorld or any of the American aquarium sea attractions. It's going to China because China has a law against any animal trade. So in order to kind of circumvent that law so people can still see what an actual dolphin is up close, they have created this really crazy digital dolphin. It's a robot dolphin. It's not autonomous. It has no AI. It is remote controlled. So there has to be an operator controlling it. And it's just, I don't know. Again, sign of the times. That's why I put it in here. It's just a really weird thing, the really weird age that we're living in, that this is now a thing. Who knows what the next robot animal is going to be that they're keeping in zoos somewhere, but it's pretty nuts, man. All right, so that's what we've got there. Next is a real quick piece. Marvel's Avengers, the RPG game, has been announced as one of, if not I haven't heard of any other ones specifically, but it's not to say there aren't other ones that have been announced. I just missed the announcement. But this is one of the first games that is being announced as the kind of opposite of backward compatibility. I don't know. Because it's not, when you buy this game and then you upgrade your system and then you put the old disc in the new system, you're not getting, like if you have an Xbox One and then you put it in your Series X, you're not getting the Xbox One version of the game, you're getting the Series X version of the game. Same thing with PlayStation. PlayStation 4 disc into a PlayStation 5, you get the PlayStation 5 version of the game. It sees that you paid for it, so it downloads from the interwebs the proper version for your system. So this is the first. We've talked about this functionality for these systems when it was officially announced. I think it was about a month ago, maybe a little bit more. So now this is that announcement coming to fruition. So that's pretty freaking awesome. And then next we're talking about Mixer. If you live under a rock, then you have not yet heard, but I feel like everyone has heard at this point. But I am putting it in here because it is relevant. Mixer's being shut down. And it's kind of an interesting situation because it's not necessarily shut down as so much as Microsoft is selling it off in parts to Facebook and then absorbing certain parts, it would seem. So anyone who streams on Mixer, yours truly included, now I don't know what the functionality is going to be. July 22nd is the official death day of Mixer. So there will still be a couple of generally nerdy streams on the platform if you're interested. I stream every Sunday. I don't know because Mixer is built into Xboxes, just like Twitch is built into PlayStation. So if the automatic default streaming service isn't there anymore, what is going to happen? Am I still going to be able to do my streams? Who knows? Because we haven't heard anything specific. It sounds like that functionality is going to be transferred over to Facebook, but nobody has said specifically if you are a streamer and you are streaming solely from your console, where is your stream going? That has not been answered as far as I could find. So it is what it is. And it's really interesting when you consider like Ninja and all of the people who signed multi-million-dollar contracts with Microsoft to stream exclusively on Mixer. They are not being transferred directly over to Facebook. They are being given the option to go to Facebook or to become effectively free agents. And it sounds like most of them are taking the free agent route. So they can go to whoever the highest bidder is effectively. So it's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks for streaming and professional streamers. And we're just going to have to wait and see. But we are still talking about Facebook for our final piece in gaming and tech. And this one is actually kind of a combination of the two. So Facebook recently purchased Ready at Dawn Games. Ready at Dawn Games is the company that did the God of War Origins games and Lone Echo, amongst others. These are all VR games. Ready at Dawn is a VR publisher, and they have worked on the Oculus for a good amount of their And they have worked on the Oculus for, it seems, a fair amount of time. So this kind of just makes sense. Facebook owns Oculus. They're like, we want to start developing stuff in-house. Let's purchase a developer. And that's what they did. So is this a sign that Facebook, not only are they going to be focusing more on gaming, but specifically VR? Only time will tell. And that is what we have for gaming and tech. Now we are talking comic books. We have two pieces to talk about in comic books. First up is a prequel of sorts to the Bill and Ted 3 movie. It's not really a I mean, what? Oh. It's not, I mean, it does take place before Bill and Ted 3, but it's not, like a prequel would be Bill and Ted 1 and 2. So this is kind of bridging the gap between Bill and Ted 2 and Bill and Ted 3. It is coming out in Dark Horse Comics. Dark Horse is the publishing house that's putting it out. It is being written by Evan Dorkin and Ed Solomon. Ed Solomon is one of the writers on the movie, and Dorkin is a writer from the 90s that actually did write for Bill and Ted when they were relevant the first time. So it is in very capable hands. We'll see what happens with it. It's going to, issue number 1 does release on September 9th. So there you go. Next is a really interesting piece with actually somebody we have interviewed on the show, or on the YouTube channel anyway. And that is... fucking shit. Mike Barron, good lord. And then next is actually a piece that has to do with a comic book writer that we have actually interviewed on the show before, and I interviewed even once before on Eclectica Cafe before I started Generally Nerdy. So Mike Barron is the writer. Mike Barron, and there was somebody else on the book, but Mike Barron is the one that we did the interview with. So that's apparently the only name I wrote down. Mike Barron has an Indiegogo for his new book. The new book is called Florida Man. It looks like exactly what you would expect out of something called a comic book. It looks just like let me read you the teaser that they put up on the Indiegogo. So, Florida Man tells the story of Gary Dubba's bad day. He's got a snake in his toilet, a rabid raccoon in his yard, and his girl Crystal is in jail for getting naked and licking the manager of a Waffle Castle. In order to get his girl out of jail, Dubba turns to his best friend Floyd as the two set out to sell Dubba's Barry Bonds rookie card in order to pay Crystal's bail. And if you couldn't guess it, things are bound to go wrong. So the cover shows the main character riding an alligator. What is not want to read about that? Definitely worth a look. They are getting very close on their Indiegogo. You can go find it. I will put the link down in the show notes, description, whatever you want to call it. But that is everything we have for comic books. Now it's time for rumors. We are going to stay with Disney and Marvel for a little while, and then we're going to switch over to DC really, really quick, or Warner Brothers, I guess. And that is the long and the short of it. So first up, we're talking about Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie, the movie that we know is going to happen. There have been a number of rumors talking about who might be connected to it. There have been a number of MCU alumni that are reportedly attached to this movie, and this new rumor is now attaching Chris Hemsworth also to the movie. The likelihood of this, I feel like, is pretty strong, assuming, because this is going based on an assumption, that Feige is similar to like a Woody Allen or one of those kind of directors, in that they want to use the same pool of actors frequently. I don't know if that's the case with Feige, so I really can't speak to the validity of this. If yes, then sure, I believe it. If no, then this is just people wishful thinking and spreading it as rumor. So it's kind of a mixed bag on this one. That is all we've got, though. We're moving next, staying with Star Wars. We're talking now about the Rian Johnson Star Wars movie. It is... I mean, Rian Johnson has been saying, no, I'm not canceled. No, I'm not canceled. In spite of what all of the fans want to say, I am still getting my trilogy movie. Well, now there are actual rumors around the fact that, yes, he is getting a trilogy movie. Usually the rumors go in the opposite direction. This is the first set of rumors that say yes. The trilogy is still, according to the rumor, very early in the stages of development, and it will be a while because of that before we see the movie, because presumably he's working on the Knives Out sequel and so on and so forth. But he is still developing this movie, and it will see the light of day, according to the rumors. Honestly, as for the validity of this rumor, I feel like this also is kind of a 50-50 shot. Like, yes, he has been assuring us, I guess is the word you could use. He has been telling us that this is going to happen, but that just because a director wants a thing to happen doesn't mean it's going to happen. Kathleen Kennedy presumably is behind him on this, but Kathleen Kennedy is also presumably on her way out of Star Wars as well. So really, it's really hard to gauge the validity on this one as well. So we're moving on. Next, we are talking about Deadpool, and we actually have a couple of things we're going to be talking about here. First up is the next time, according to a rumor, because like I said, there's one or two attached to this. Next time we will be seeing the Merc with the Mouth is going to be in Spider-Man 5, and then also in Spider-Man 6. So this kind of coincides with other rumors that we've been hearing, that Disney wants to do a Deadpool Spider-Man team-up kind of thing, which I believe that part of it. I do think they want to capitalize on the popularity of those books. But I don't think the next time we see Deadpool will be that far out, as I bump the microphone. Then there is also a rumor that Feige has been courting, I'm going to read the names, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, who wrote, I believe, the Avengers movies, or the last two Avengers movies, specifically Endgame, and I can't remember, but they're attached to other MCU stuff. So Feige reportedly wants to bring these two in onto the writing staff, or to be the writing staff, which probably isn't going to sit very well with Ryan Reynolds. This one is believable as well, because Feige wants somebody who already knows the Disney movie-making machine, specifically the MCU movie-making machine. So if he can get that, then I would imagine these guys are going to be pretty big all-stars on his roster of potential writers, and I feel like it would be a smarter move, if this is true, if it would be a smarter move to add them to the writing team so they can kind of tweak and point out things that would work better for the MCU, and not just have them be the script writers, because we already know Ryan Reynolds and the existing scripting crew do a fantastic job, so it would be total suicide to completely remove all of them. And then we have another Deadpool rumor saying that not only are we going to be getting a Deadpool 3 sometime, there are no time announcements attached to this rumor, but eventually we will be seeing a Deadpool 3. But not only that, we are also going to be getting a 4 and 5 as well. So it will be effectively a Deadpool trilogy in the Disney MCU world. And yeah, they might be teasing this. They might be the ones that leaked this rumor in order to get Ryan Reynolds to stay on board a little bit longer. It just seems like if they're yanking him around like it sounds like they might be, according to these rumors, then he probably isn't going to be the most happy Deadpool we've ever seen. So I don't know. I don't know if I buy that they're planning 3 more Deadpool movies. I would imagine they would be planning at least 1 more beyond 3, assuming 3 does as well as they want it to. But I can't see them taking so much of a gamble that they're going to put 2 beyond Deadpool 3. So I don't know. That seems pretty shaky. That is what we have for Deadpool. Next, we're moving over to Sword. And it's kind of funny because these rumors are saying that Sword is going to be the new Shield in the MCU, which kind of makes sense. So first up, there's a couple of rumors here. First up is that there are rumors on rumors, and this episode is kind of rumors on rumors on rumors. But the first of those rumors is that we are going to be introduced to Sword. We already know that's been rumored, but not only are we going to be introduced to the organization, we are also going to be introduced to their leader, Abigail Brand. And they are now talking about heroes that will be partnering with Sword. So this is the other rumor. The other rumor is the first partnership with Sword on their Disney Plus series, if the rumors are to be believed, is going to be Spider-Man. So yeah, very, I don't know. This one's stacking rumors. So you have to think the first rumor is true in order for the second rumor to make sense, right? So again, this one's really shaky ground that we're talking about. Next rumor is Alpha Flight. We are apparently going to be getting an Alpha Flight series. This is another rumor based on a rumor. So if you believe the rumor that the Hulk versus Wolverine movie is going to happen, then that is where supposedly we're going to be introduced to Alpha Flight. And from that movie, we're going to get it spun into a Disney Plus series that is going to explore who that team is and why they're relevant. So again, if you believe the one rumor, then it makes sense that the next rumor would be legit. not knowing enough about the contract that Disney has with Universal for the Hulk, it's hard for me to believe that we're going to get that Hulk versus Wolverine movie, and therefore hard for me to believe that we're going to see Alpha Flight. I really want that to be the case. I want to believe this rumor. I just don't think it has a whole lot of legs. So yeah, that's what we have there. Next, we're talking Doctor Doom. So this rumor, we've talked, again, this is kind of associated. This isn't based on another rumor, but this is very closely associated with another set of rumors that we've covered. So first part of this rumor is that we are going to be seeing Lucia von Bardas, who in the comic books succeeded Doom as the leader of Latveria. I know I'm not saying that 100% right, but that's how I read it. But now this rumor says that we're going to be introduced to her before we see Victor in the MCU, and then Victor is going to succeed her as the as the ruler of Latveria in the MCU. So it's going to be flipped, which I think is a fun way to do it. I do believe we are going to see Victor Doom. Probably not this phase. We're probably gonna see him in phase 5. And that would be a great way. So if we see her, again, I'm reading names because I'm horrible with them. If we see Lucia von Bardas in phase 4, then we know this is coming. If that happens, I think it's going to be towards the end of the phase, and they're going to set up Victor Doom as one of the big bads for phase 5. So I think this one has a little bit of legs. I wouldn't bet a whole lot of money on it, but I bet there is some sort of validity to this. Next, we're going to be talking about a number of rumors that are all really similar in that it's rumors about actors that are that one studio is trying to steal from the other. So Marvel Studios is trying to steal them from the DC studios and vice versa. So first up is The Rock. There is a rumor that Disney is so hyped on trying to get The Rock into their stable of superhero actors that they are going to create a character specifically for the MCU for The Rock to play. This one has very little legs. I do not believe this one at all, at freaking all, because there are so many characters that exist in the MCU, especially now that Disney owns the Fox characters. Gladiator comes to mind. I mean, so many potential for there's just no way that's legit. The next one is WB. Warner Brothers is reportedly courting Brie Larson for any number of roles, those being Lady Blackhawk, Zatanna, Hawkwoman, and Big Barda. I don't believe this one. We're going to get to the next one, and then we're going to talk about why I don't believe these two either. The next one is Tom Holland is being eyed by Warner Brothers as well to potentially play Tim Drake. Tom Holland is not the only one that they're thinking of, but the rumor goes that they are thinking of it. So I don't think either of these things can legally be true, because I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I am pretty sure that all of these actors have exclusivity contracts with their respective producers, with Warner Brothers and Disney and so on and so forth. So Tom Holland, Brie Larson are exclusive to Disney. The Rock is exclusive to Warner Brothers. Pretty sure. I mean, yes, I understand The Rock is doing a Disney movie is doing with Emily Blunt, but that's not a superhero movie. I would imagine there is a clause in his contract that says he will not do a superhero movie for the competition, because they do that stuff with writers on the comic book side of things. So why would it make any less sense that they do the same thing with actors? I don't think any of these have legs, if for no other reason than because of that specific reason. And then we're talking about our final set of rumors, and these all surround Flashpoint. That's right, I told you we were going to be getting here, so we're getting here. Flashpoint has a number of rumors that basically all stem from two actors, Michael Keaton or Jeffrey Dean Morgan. First up, Michael Keaton being rumored to play Wayne. This one gets really sticky as far as the validity goes. We already have it connected to the Flashpoint universe, or this Flash universe, because Ezra Miller was in Crisis on Infinite Earths on the CW. So if they're playing with that continuity, which they probably are, then we know that Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne Batman already exists in this world. So that seems likely. I feel like that has the highest rate of likelihood. But then the other rumor is that Keaton is reportedly in discussions to be playing Thomas Wayne Batman. So the Earth 2 Batman, where Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne are the ones that survive and Bruce is the one that dies, and then Martha becomes the Joker and Thomas becomes Batman. So reportedly that is also potentially happening. I don't think that is the case, though there is a fair amount of stuff that has come out around this. Producers saying we're going in a different direction when asked specifically about Jeffrey Dean Morgan in a non-documented conversation. So this is somebody recalling a conversation they had, not on the record, with a producer, saying that they're going in a different direction after they were asked if Jeffrey Dean Morgan was going to be coming back as Thomas Wayne. That sounds like there's a little bit of potential that is an option. I don't think it's the most likely option. I feel like the most likely option is Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne and Michael Keaton as a alternate universe Batman, or as a future Bruce Wayne and dealing with Terry McGinnis, and we get the Batman Beyond movie. This would be a perfect way to set that up. Keep Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne, which is one of the other rumors. Keep Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne, but bring in Michael Keaton as an older version of Batman in some other multiverse situation, and have a Terry McGinnis set up in this Flashpoint movie. That is the perfect way to deal with this, not the rest of this garbage. So there is another set of rumors around the Michael Keaton being Thomas Wayne nonsense. That is that Michael Keaton's Batman, the reason it is taking so long to deal with these negotiations is because Michael Keaton as Thomas Wayne, they want to come back for multiple movies in a sort of mentor kind of role to Robert Pattinson's Batman, to potentially some other Batman. And this one, I feel like, doesn't feel right. I have no basis for that necessarily, but it just doesn't sound like a direction that makes a lot of sense, even when you consider that this is a silly movie production company and not the comic book publishers that we have come to know and love. It just makes the most sense. Like I said, it makes the most sense for Jeffrey Dean Morgan to be Thomas Wayne because he has that physicality. The fans really want that. And then to keep Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne as an older future version so that we get the Batman Beyond movie that, again, the fans really want. This all is what makes the most sense. And that is the end of the Flashpoint rumors, and actually the end of the rumors in general. And it's the end of the episode. So what did I miss? What should we talk about in the next one? Let me know in the comments down below. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, there is a website, generallynerdy.net. You can go check that out, see all the free stuff. I do post a little bit extra up there, so go check it out. Or if you want to see all of the paid content, then patreon.com/generallynerdy is the place to go get all of that and to support the channel more directly. I appreciate everyone who does that. I have, it's been a thing, so go check it out. There is a fair amount of stuff up there. Some of it you might have to go digging through some of the news episodes and whatnot, but it's there, I promise. So go check it out. Thank you very much for joining me. By now, we should be seeing boxes below my face. Click or tap one of those to see what else is going on the channel. And to keep up on your nerd news, subscribe right there. Do all of the things, guys. Thank you very, very much, nerds. Before we head out, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.